Welcome back to Get Fit Guy. I'm Kevin Don, and this week I want to apologize for the clickbait title. I will indeed give you 5 ways to resist the aging process, but none of these are actually secrets. In fact, if you've listened to this podcast before, you can probably already guess at a few of them. Now, let's get to it. We all know that we're aging. We feel the aches and pains, our slower recovery from training, the need for eyeglasses or contact lenses. We see the grey hairs creeping in and the myriad of lotions and potions that we have to smear on our faces to keep that rosy-faced glow of youth. But is there anything practical that we can do here on Earth that would slow the passage of time? Now, I say here on Earth because gravity actually affects aging, and the closer we are to a large mass of gravity, the slower time passes. And although infinitesimal, someone living at high altitude, for example in La Paz, Bolivia, is aging more slowly than someone living at sea level or below, such as Baku in Azerbaijan, which is 92 feet below sea level. Now, if we could survive the gravitational forces of a neutron star, that would really extend our lifetime, because even the mighty Jupiter only has 2.4 times more gravity than Earth, which would only boost our lives by a measly 1 second per year. So, assuming you don't have a spaceship, what protocols can we access? Well, the first thing on my list, which, by the way, is in a totally arbitrary order before I get a deluge of emails about how I prioritize things, is sleep. Now, as discussed in my episode on sleep, whether or not this comes in one huge unbroken chunk is maybe less important than the rejuvenating effects of making sure that in a 24-hour period you pass through all of the sleep phases, light sleep, REM sleep, and deep sleep, several times. Some studies say that humans are naturally biphasic sleepers. Others swear by a single 8-hour block. Just do what works for you, but make sure you get enough sleep and that you pass through all the phases. Research has shown that people that regularly sleep 7 hours or less each day have a 24% lower life expectancy. My top tips for better sleep are, first of all, to avoid blue light before bed. That's any light that comes from devices like a cell phone, a tablet, a television, because blue light plays havoc with the production of sleep hormone like melatonin. You also got to make sure that the bedroom or sleeping area is really dark. Blackout curtains are amazing. And ensure that it's cool. Studies have shown that the optimal sleeping temperature is about 65 degrees. Now, next up on the list is community. Living longer has been directly correlated to having a community. Family, friends, and social events. You'll be happier, have a sense of belonging, have something to look forward to, and something to keep showing up for. National Geographic's Blue Zone project uncovered 5 areas in the world where people lived the longest and discovered that community, family ties, and social tribes were strongest in these 5 blue zones. Something I worry about post-pandemic is so many people are working from home, social events are taking place online, and so on. How is virtual socializing going to affect longevity moving forwards? My top tips for community would be, first of all, to replace screen time with people time, to plan regular events with friends, such as a walk, some gym time together, or even just having a coffee meetup. Other ideas would be to regularly attend a religious meeting if you have faith. Go to church, the synagogue, the mosque, or the temple. Make sure you're involved in social groups there. You could even start a new sport, no matter your age. Number 3, I'm going to have to go for eat well. Now, this is incredibly nuanced, and I'm not going to get into the whole plant-based, carnivore, keto, low-carb, or fasting thing. Thankfully, though, Quick and Dirty Tips has a great nutrition podcast where you can dig into that. It's called Nutrition Diva, and she isn't a diva at all. She's actually lovely. What I will say, though, is that irrespective of your preference of eating style, you don't need me to tell you that eating fruits and vegetables is good for you and that a salad has a better outcome for health than a deep-fried pizza. That being said, junk food, as long as it's not consumed with super regularity, does have the ability to recharge some batteries because it has social effects and emotional ones. I know for sure, being British, that nothing helps my stress quite like a cup of tea and a chocolate biscuit. But you do have to make sure that your eating habits are intentional. My top tip here is to go check out Nutrition Diva podcast. Not so secret number 4. Don't smoke. Literally blows my mind how many people here in the UK I see smoking versus when I was in the US. Now, I will say I've researched this, and it's not really that much different. 13.3% of the UK population smokes versus 11.5% in the US. So maybe it's just the fact that in the US, people tend to drive more from place to place, so I didn't encounter as many smokers as I do now. But tobacco smokers have on average a 25% lower life expectancy, which works out to be a loss of 11 minutes off your life for every single cigarette you smoke. Frankly, since Sir Richard Doll, the British physician, discovered the link between smoking and lung cancer in 1956, and the US Surgeon General released a report after reviewing over 7,000 pieces of medical evidence in 1964, I'm flabbergasted that anyone in 2023 still smokes or even takes it up. And if you do smoke, here's my top tip. Stop. And last but not least, but by no means surprising, move. You have to move your body. I've said it on here so many times that regular listeners could literally host their own podcast on it by now. But in case you need to hear it again, the metabolic effects of aging, such as sarcopenia, osteopenia, which is a loss of muscle mass and bone mineral density, can only be overcome with resistance training. The ongoing health of your cardiovascular system will be dramatically improved with aerobic training, and your ability to move pain-free and unrestricted and interact with your environment, with your children, your grandchildren, and your pets will be enhanced greatly by mobility work. I can't really do anything more or less than tell it to you straight. You gotta move, people. Use it or lose it. Top tips here are really try to find something or a group of things that allow just that. Something that lets you lift some load, move it around, move your body through full ranges, and doing so in a way that elevates your heart rate. Remember, unless you're actually dead inside, and I had an email from one such person, I'll call them Mr. Joy Boy, then things should be fun. Because the biggest predictor of success in any training is adherence, and the biggest predictor of adherence is enjoyment. So, there you go. That's my top 5 tips for resisting aging. No secrets here, no grand conspiracies. You've just got to sleep well, eat well, have friends, move your body, and stop smoking. If you have a training question, are looking for individual training program design, or just want to say hi, head over to the Get Fit Guy Facebook page or send me an email at getfitguy@quickanddirtytips.com. Get Fit Guy is a Quick and Dirty Tips podcast. Thanks to the team at Quick and Dirty Tips, Adam Cecil, Morgan Christensen, Holly Hutchings, and Davina Tomlin. I'm your host, Kevin Don. If you have a question for me, leave me a voicemail at 510-353-3104 or send me an email at getfitguy@quickanddirtytips.com. For more information about the show, visit quickanddirtytips.com or check out the show notes in your podcast app.